Last year, before Brave, I was really lost. I had lost my 10-month-old baby girl, and I didn't really know what God's plan was for me. We had gone through all the other first, her first birthday, Christmas, Easter. I wasn't expecting it to be such a hard day, but I woke up and it hit me like a brick wall. The year before is when I took pictures of my daughter on Easter. She was out on the grass, and I remember the day so clearly, and I would have never guessed that a couple weeks later I'd been using that same picture for her obituary. Everywhere on Facebook and on Instagram, there was posts about that he died so that we might have life. I was so hurt by that and felt betrayed because she didn't have life. She had died and she wasn't here with us. Easter was really my low point, and then the next week really started the Brave journey, where I felt like I was in a group with my friends and that I could really talk about how I felt and my struggles. That's when I really heard God show up in a big way. My heading last year for Brave was to listen for and follow God's plan. My biggest storm was what I was supposed to do about Evelyn. I felt like as her mom, I needed to make her always be remembered and not forgotten. I felt like I had to make some kind of legacy, and I just wasn't for sure what his plan was for me, and so I felt so lost on how to make her name great. I really felt like I heard God speak to me for the first time when I was journaling in the Brave experience. I was asked to pick out 5 random verses and read them, and as I was reading them, I started writing about them. It was the most overwhelming and amazing experience. Psalms 103 was the first one that I read, and it talked about how we are just dust and that no one's going to necessarily remember our place, but that God's kingdom is everlasting, and that's where she's going to be famous, and that's where she is great in His eyes, and I didn't need to make her famous. I didn't need to make her great or do some big legacy in her name. I really felt like He said, Beth, you don't need to worry about making her great. I have made her great, and she is up here in heaven with me. I also heard exactly what God's calling was for me. He was calling me to be a disciple of Him, to tell His story, not to tell Evelyn's story, but to tell His story, and to be a disciple of Him and spread His word. A year ago, I was so lost. I didn't know where God fit into my life. I didn't know what His purpose of having Evelyn on this earth was. I just didn't know what He wanted from me and what I was supposed to do. Now I feel like I actually have a real relationship with God. I feel like I have a purpose for my life. If I didn't go on the Brave journey, I would have never stopped and listened to actually hear His plan, and it's given me such peace and such excitement, and I couldn't be more thankful or more blessed.